Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Today we're going to do a walk through the garage and show you all the products we've got over there on the shelves and everything in the plastic drawers and everything in the cupboards, the whole shebang. The history of the Forensics Detailing channel, Garage. So I moved down here from London probably about 3 years ago, and the requirement before I bought property was it had to have a separate double garage. This had 2 doors and it was all kind of unpainted on the inside, dusty and dirty. So the first thing I did when I moved in, I got that pillar knocked out and I got a garage door company to put in that sliding kind of, I think it's a Horman door, with the nice mahogany kind of panels on it to match the kind of colour of the wood the house already had. I got the cheapest carcasses I could from Wicks. This was all done on a shoestring, and I put a ton of cut carcasses along this wall. So you got this wall here and the door there, and that was a mistake. Okay, I thought I could get away with it, but I can only just about, like I might have said before on the channel, I can only just fit a saloon in here with literally millimetres to spare. So that needs to be sorted out. I got the floor painted. I did that myself with the garage workshop floor paint. I put some boarding up in the rafters for more storage. I got the plastic shelving and these plastic pull-out drawer units that seem to be very popular. And I'll give you links where you can go and buy these if I can find them, and the shelving as well. So that's the kind of history of the garage. Let's have a walkthrough of all the stuff. Okay, so let's start with the shelving where I keep all the detailing products. So first up, Gorilla wipes. They're like degreasing, slightly abrasive hand wipes for when you're kind of working and getting your hands all greasy. Handy things to have. I'll put a link for them in the description if you want them. I keep a bag full of random kind of sprayers and little bottles which come in handy, and lids and stuff like that. And here's all the empty kind of bottles. So these Sonax ones are the ones that I bought a few of. Quite good value. See, these triggers hold up well to kind of, if you put any kind of stronger chemicals in them. I also keep all my built hamper bottles because the sprays on these are excellent. So if the spray bottle's good, I tend to keep it. I also use a load of these cheap ones from eBay that are about like a £5 or £5 or £6 for 5 or 6 of them, so like £1 each, something like that. So I'll put a link for these in the description as well if you want the adjustable kind of sprayers, so you can atomise them or stream them. They're good value for money, and you can measure the products because they've got a scale on the side. This first shelf here, I keep my fallout removers here. I've got a load of other fallout removers, but the ones I tend to use on my car are the Built Hamber range, Corosol and Auto wheels, because they just seem to react the quickest and the strongest. We will be doing a fallout remover test at some point, testing a load of them. I have an alkaline wheelbase cleaner, which is the Valet Pro Bilberry wheel cleaner. High concentrate. I've got a bulk thing about down there, I'll show you later on. I got Joe's acidic wheel cleaner there if I want to go in with an acid, a mild acid. And I've got this Wonder Wheel stuff there which I rarely use, which is a very strong acid. You know, if you really need proper kind of acidic cleaning, then you go in with those. Surfex HD, degreaser, APC. And then all this stuff here, well, that part from the Adams, that's the tyre and rubber cleaner. All this stuff over here is tar and glue removers. So I've got TARDIS, I've got the AM tar, I've got the Auto Glim one, which is one of the mildest, and that's why I have that. You know, it's good to have a range of potencies, and TARDIS is the most aggressive. This is a mid-range one that I generally use because I trust it on cars. I'll talk about that a little bit later on. The Built Hamber cleanser fluid that I'll use as a final kind of wipe down prep after polishing, and in the same way the Angel Wax Strip Tees. So those two I tend to save for paintwork duties, you know, polishing stuff, and use them sparingly. The rest I will use for removing contaminant from cars. So that's those two shelves. Okay, the next shelf, this is where I keep all my shampoos, my O&R wash and wax. I don't tend to use that often, but I use the O&R a lot. Got a little sample of the Adams waterless wash one there to try out. Here's all my clay bars, the Dodo Juice Born Slippy Concentrate Clay Lube, which is still going. Built Hamber clays, and I've got the new AM Details clay, a fine abrasive clay, so a sort of less aggressive one to try out. That's most of my stuff. Shampoos, you've seen them all featured on the channel. Adams I'm using at the moment. Someone kindly sent this through who's creating their own range of products, Auto Shine. So I've just been using that a fair old bit actually. The Built Hamber Auto Wash, which is nearly gone. Rob Inglis kindly sent me through some Duca Wash, which is a nice shampoo, and the Chemical Guys Gloss Works, which I really love for adding gloss. So I was using Maguire's Gold Class previously to do that kind of maintenance wash if I wanted to top up the gloss. Now I'm using Gloss Works, and Gloss Works is much better for me, much more recently developed product, a lot more potent and a lot more gloss I think than Maguire's Gold, which is still a good product. Okay, next one. Okay, next shelf down we have our homebrew IPA mix, which I did a video on how you can make that stuff up yourself. I've got my PA Snow Foam Lance, which is still going strong. It's a few years old now and it works just like new, so I'm glad I paid the money for that. I still recommend these PA Lances, even though they're 40 odd quid. I think they're the best. We have citrus pre-wash there, the cleanliness. We have a load of these. I bought these from Halfords. I've been using these for years. You know, the old turtle wax never gets a good rap. These were 3 for 2 and they weren't particularly expensive. And I just like the way you can get them out. They blast out a layer of foam on your upholstery and you can scrub it with the brush. So I find these quite handy. You know, how potent they are is questionable, but still a handy little product. And I have the Angel Wax Absolution, which is, I've been using this more and more. It's really concentrated, this stuff. You can even water it down a bit. But that is one of the most potent upholstery cleaners you'll get. And you don't have to wash it off either. You can spray it in and work it and leave it, which is nice. And the Angel Wax Shield, which is it's not one of those water repellent things, but what it does is it creates stain resistance on the fabrics you spray them on. So if I've cleaned the upholstery and carpets or whatever with the Absolution, you can then sort of protect it with the shield. So I use that combo. Over here I've got the Dr. Leather cleaning wipes, which I've been using for years. They are really, really handy. I haven't been using them so much lately since we started featuring the Colour Lock stuff, but the Dr. Leather cleaning wipes, they're just handy because the cloth they give you, you know, it's got a big roll of cloths in there. It lasts for ages and they're kind of impregnated with the cleaner, and the cloth that they're in is strong enough that it won't sort of rip up. It's not like a paper towel, so you can use them and throw them away. That's just a handy thing to have. That is that, and there's some Maguire's APC there just ready to go. I need to fill that back up again. And finally down the bottom you can see some of these bulk products that I use. So I rely mainly on 2 snow foams. The Built Hamber Auto Foam, which I go in for if I want heavy cleaning, and then the Valet Pro Advanced Neutral if I want to be slightly kinder to the, you know, if it's just been freshly waxed or something like that. I'll use that to kind of maintain what's on there more. And that one I will use to clean it more. The Maguire's all-purpose cleaner, interior cleaner, very handy. TARDIS, 5 litres of that stuff. That doesn't take any prisoners. The Valet Pro Bilberry wheel cleaner, highly concentrated, good value for money, and will get your wheels clean. And in here we have High Style, which is a multi-purpose dressing from Auto Smart, which is just good value for money. I rarely get a chance to use it nowadays because I've got so many other dressings, but it's there if I need it. So this shelf here, this is all my leather cleaning stuff. So most of this is all colour lock stuff, the viscose cloths, leather sanding blocks, applicators, or you can use those to clean, leather cleaning brushes, which I'm using the colour lock one now, the whole range of colour lock products. This one I use as well, the Optimum leather protectant. I use that exactly the same way as Shield. So after I've cleaned it, it's supposed to be a cleaner and protector in one, but I'll use the cleaners to clean first and then put that on like I do with the Shield as a protector. Also have the Dr. Leather cleaner, which is what I was using before I started using the colour lock products. The colour lock cleaners are better than this in my opinion. This is a loose liquid, it's less foamy. It still works, you know, it's not a turkey, but the colour lock foaming cleaners are much better for me. Up here, I don't know if I'm in focus, but up here I keep all my glass products. So I've got my M1 glass, the anti-fog, the Vision, Auto Glym car polish, Reg gave me that, the Auto Glands Moonshine and Vision cleaner and sealer in one, and then Angel Wax products, the H2Go sealant, which is what I use if I want to seal up glass, and the Clarity Screen Wash. Let's just move you in. Okay. Down here, these are all like the dressings, the rubber and vinyl dressings. So Tyre dressings here, we've got Maguire's, we've got Elixir, we've got the Adams Tyre Shine, which I'm really starting to like, this one here. I'm probably going to buy some more of that. I prefer using this on tyres than the VRT. They're both very similar, but this just seems to give a higher gloss but also dries down. It's a little bit more potent. I prefer this Tyre Shine to the Maguire's Endurance Tyre Gel by quite a way. The biggest difference is they both last, but this never fully kind of dries to where you can touch it and like feel it, it's dry. So that's a good recommendation now. I'll be buying some more of that. Over here, air fresheners. So I've got lots of the Chemical Guys one, the Car Pro one, which you kind of use, you lay it out, it's like a coating air freshener. Not so potent this, so I wouldn't use this if you've got a stinking car. But if you've got a really nice car and it's really well maintained, this is a good kind of air purifier. And I like spraying this into the cabin filter just to kind of, it's got a mint smell, so you really notice it. So that's a good one, that is. Odor bombs if I want to really like blast the car out, you know. And this Valet Pro enzyme odor eater if I've got any kind of stinky bacterial stains that I need to neutralise. Doesn't smell so nice, this, but it's an odor eliminator, so it's a different sort of product. Okay, so that's all that stuff there. We've got the Adams VRT, which is a brilliant all-round dressing that I'm using more and more now. Lloyd's N1 Dash, which is this is a nice dressing. Okay, it dries completely smooth and leaves like a silky finish and a little bit of gloss behind. So it's a nice one to use and it lasts forever. I've been using this for quite a long time. There's probably still this much left in the bottle. I really like that. It doesn't have like a big darkening effect and it's not like a wet gel, so it's not, you know, it's not an all-rounder, but I tend to use this on dashboards or sort of plastics where I want to put I don't want a sort of wet finish on it, you know what I mean? Angel Wax, Angel, this stuff is brilliant. I just, you know, lay that out on a microfiber applicator pads and just go around the whole cockpit coating anything that moves. And this stuff will again dry, so it doesn't leave a wet finish. Perhaps it's a little bit shinier than the M1 Dash, but I really like Angel as well. These are two test products from Lloyd, so that's like a restorer, you know. So if you've got faded plastics, that'll bring it back to life. A bit like Car Pro, but it's not chemically the same as the Car Pro Pearl. And Lloyd had a test product to lock in the effect of the revival. So I don't think you can buy either of these, but I liked them so much I kept hold of them. Car Pro Pearl here, concentrated and diluted down. So one, really good all-round dressing. Probably the one I use for most things. Okay, abrasives. So we have the Mirror Glaze range here, the Meguiar's Ultra Finishing Polish 205, an Ultra Cut Compound, sort of like a very good quality abrasive, but perhaps getting on a little bit now. It's a bit of an old lady, and the lubrication systems that are in some of the other products can beat it, but the quality of the abrasives in there is fantastic. And this Ultra Finishing Polish is still fantastic. The 105 cut will deliver you good results, but you get very short working times with it. So I don't tend to use that as much now. These are the abrasives which I pretty much use all of the time now. The best abrasives on the market for me by a long way. Because of the fact they are less reliant on water than any other abrasives that I've used, with the exception of Menzerner, which are very similar. They might even be made by the same bloke, who knows. There's a little bit of tip for you. So Shoal S20 Black, which is that brilliant one-step product. S40 finishing polish, very fine, very high gloss finish. That's for refining paintwork up to high gloss. And then 2 bottles of S3 Gold XXL. It's interesting. Oh yeah, the label's always different on this. So Gold Edition, different label to that one that says Gold XXL, but this says XXL on the top. I believe all S3 Golds now are XXL, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Some Menzerner abrasives, 3800, which I think used to be called SF 4500. That's an ultra finishing compound, so you can do that. You can use it as just a finishing polish over a compound, or you could use it after a polish as well, if you for a second pass to really gloss it up. That is good stuff, that is. Their normal polish SF 4000 and their cutting compound FG 400, which is very similar to S3, very similar, hint hint, but it's not quite as loose and not quite as oily as the S3. So the S3 edges it. Menzerner and Shoal are the 2 products I'd recommend if you're starting out, because of the fact you get the long working time, because they are less reliant on water. I kept the Optimum range of abrasives because they are very good as well. The Hyper Compound, the Hyper Polish, and their GPS, which is a polish and sealant in one, not a glaze. That's just a term for the gloss. So it's a polish and sealant in one. I will use these, whenever I use these, I'll use them with the OptiSeal as well, because you can save time applying them. I like the way you spray these and you use hardly any product. And I like the way you don't have to wipe off the compound, or they formulate them not to. So you can go straight from the compound to the polish without doing a wipe down. And then on your final wipe down, you can use a little bit of OptiSeal and seal the car at the same time. So these are all about saving time for me. I've got some Auto Glim products here. They're metal polish, which is good. I've got the Auto Soul polish. Everyone's heard of this. Been around for donkey's years. It's okay. And I've got the Auto Glim metal polish. They all work. All of these metal polishes work. Okay, they're thicker, heavier abrasives. The Angel Wax Alchemy one is excellent as well. They all deliver you a similar thing. The Super Resin polish, the Auto Glim Super Resin polish, a product that you should have in your arsenal because it's bloody handy. Neil sent me this from OCD Finish when he sent through the detail spray for the test. It's a really good product. I use this if I ever need to do any polishing by hand. If I've got something that needs to be kind of where the abrasion of the polish will just bring up the finish. So I might use it on a headlight, or you know, I've even used it on panels. I think it's got some glazes in it as well. This just works. It just brings back the shine on your car. So if you're not machine polishing, I kept that because it's a good product. So down here we have 2 polishing machines, the DAS 6 Pro, not getting much use now, still a handy tool, still a good tool, and my Flex 3401, which is my tool of choice, as I talked about in the review, for doing most things. I've got some products there that I've got to check out. Rob Inglis kindly sent me some stuff through from Duca that I need to check out. A reactive fallout cleaner, a wheel cleaner. I've got some little sample things there I'm going to talk about in another video. So there's just a rush. I need to tidy those up. They shouldn't be there. And then down here I keep my deionized water and my IPA and the SLS, which I talked about in another video, which is a handy surfactant to have kicking around. Next up, these are like sealants and waxes mainly. I'll go through the brushes up here in a second. That's my brush box. So here I keep all my sealants and waxes that I like. You can only have so many, and I've had so many waxes from doing this channel, and I've given a lot of good waxes and products away just because of the fact that I'm never going to be able to use them all. And they do have a shelf life, these products, you know, probably 3 or 4 years. You might find the wax will still work, but the solvent levels in it will have gone down and it won't be quite right. So I try to keep enough products that I can use them. We've got the high temperature paste wax Fuso, which is just still unbeatable in terms of that for a paste wax sealant, a paste wax sealant, let's call it. The durability of that is incredible, and how long it holds on to that repellency. And double speed, which is a great value wax that will beat the performance of waxes that cost, you know, hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and it's very, very cheap. Auto Glim Extra Gloss Protection, for the product I've been using the longest. I must have been using this stuff for over 20 years. We'll have to do a video on this stuff at some point because it's worth talking about. We've got some of the Auto Glim stuff here, some other sealants. OptiSeal, which is a very versatile, quick to use, quick squirt on, level it over with a microfiber, done. The lightweight ceramic Tack Moonlight, very good stuff. One of my favourite kind of non-durability high gloss paste waxes, Pete's 53. Beautiful wax this is. You know, you just, oh, it smells lovely as well. It's got like a sweet almond kind of candy smell to it. Beautiful. You just sling this on your car and buff it straight off, and it just gives gloss. Very oily as well, and that's one of the reasons it's glossy. You'll only get about a month out of this, despite what they tell you, before you want to be applying it again. Angel Wax Halo. I don't think I've ever, or I have used this once. It's a synthetic wax. In the middle of summer, this melts down a little bit. I don't know much about this, so I can't even say if it's good or bad. I need to use it more, but if it's made by Angel Wax, it will be good. But I just need to understand what its strengths are. Still got some of the OptiSeal, what's it called? Opti Gloss Coat, which is their entry-level kind of silicon carbide ceramic type coating. I need to use that pretty quickly, actually, or that's going to go bad. So I'll think of something to put that on. My Lime Prime pre-wax cleansers, the Adams H2O High Gloss and Guard product, which I really, really like. What else have we got? The Titanium Primer Sealant from Angel Wax. If I'm using any Angel Wax product, I put this down as a kind of primer type product for it. So I like that. Corona, I've barely used this. It's a synthetic spray wax. John was saying from Angel Wax, a lot of people use it when they buff off a paste wax. You can use that on, like, spray it on there and then buff the paste wax off, and it really gives you a nice gloss. I've only ever used it once, and it works really well. Test wax there that I can't talk about, or I'd have to shoot you. Some Angel Wax Enigma. I decanted this before I had to give the pot back to Bert, because this stuff is so damn good. Angel Wax Enigma, the ceramic wax, one of few proper ceramic waxes. I've got Lloyd's Auto Perfect Boss of Gloss Trio there, which is a siloxane based sealant, followed by liquid paste wax, followed by their N1 finisher, which I used and featured in the BMW M3 video. Really nice stuff actually. That M1 coat will last if you do the proper prep. You will get 6 months out of that. Angel Wax Fifth Element, one of my favourite waxes of all time. Not cheap, but bloody brilliant. Whatever he's using in that, I benchmark it. If I'm trying to do a durability wax, I always put it up against this, and I always end up losing out. He's managed to put durability in the wax without it sort of being a nightmare to use. You know, it does, they say leave it for 2 minutes and then buff it off. If you leave it longer, it might get a little bit difficult to buff off, because it's something in it is really kind of locking in the wax and sort of hardening. But I lay it out like a normal wax, wait 2 minutes and buff it off like a normal wax, and you get a hell of a lot of durability out of that one. R222, the Concours look, which is a very basic wax, okay? Stinks of cheese. It's loaded with oil, it's loaded with solvent, and it's loaded with carnauba. So it's a very basic wax, very shiny on application because of all the oils. As soon as it rains or you wash the car, you lose all the shine. That's the downside that no one ever tells you. It's one of the lowest durability waxes ever, but one of the best for actual like show car gloss. So it's a good one to have that. But not too dissimilar to what you can achieve though with your home brews, but very, very good. And Joe's Hydroseal polymer concentrated wet coat, if you like. You can apply it through a lance. Tend to use that more in the winter than the summer, so that's good stuff. So that's all those sealants. Okay, detail sprays. We've done detail sprays to death on this channel. All these ones here are kind of general purpose detail sprays that you could use for any function that you'd like, you know, and they're all very, very good. This one, nice wet look gloss. This one, great value for money, anti-static kind of properties. All the rest of them, just very good detail sprays. The Koch FSE, which you have to have. If you're into detailing, you have to have that. It's cheap, and it just removes water spots and leaves behind a really nice gloss. As a lot of people said when I featured this on the channel, a lot of people just use it because it's really glossy as well. Reg thinks this is the glossiest detail spray ever, this one. It's just brilliant stuff. Like, if you just had to have one, then that would be one of the candidates that you would go with. The thing is, because it's got acids in it to help remove those water spots, I tend to try to use it more when I've got water spots to remove. But you know, they know what they're doing with the formulation, so you don't have to worry about that, and it's concentrated not to do any damage. Sonus acrylic spritz. If ever I'm using any acrylic products, I top them up with this stuff. Very nice. Built Hamber Auto QD, very high gloss. You need to dilute this down a little bit, because at full whack concentration it can be a little bit streaky if you've got other coatings on there, and you've got to try and sit it on top of that. But if you've got a nice clean silky finish, it shouldn't streak on you. If you've got a sticky finish, whenever I always notice, if you've got horrible sticky grippy finish on your car, then it's going to be more prone to streaking. But this is one of my favourite quick detailers for adding gloss. These ones over here are kind of got slightly more protective capabilities. So CarPro Reload silica spray sealant, so damn potent this stuff, and so reactive. It just bonds and leaves behind this coating on your car, which is very, very hydrophobic. Great for topping ceramic coated cars, or great for using as a standalone kind of sealant if you take a little bit more time to level it on your panels. Brilliant product that is. Wax Addict Faux Show. So this is a wax emulsion with no solvent or anything like that. If you are a wax fiend and you use carnauba paste waxes and you want to use like for like products, then top it with this spray wax. It's really hydrophobic and it lasts as well. I don't understand how they do this. The only downside is you've got to leave it on the panel for 5 minutes to for the liquid to you know, vaporize away and leave the wax and then buff it to a high shine. So it takes a little bit more effort, but the protection it gives is fantastic and will work with any paste wax basically. Lloyd's Silk Quick Detailer and Angel Wax QED both seem to be really good all-rounders that offer protection as well as all this kind of gloss stuff. The protection they put down lasts as well, so I like these two. These are probably two of my favourite all-rounders. This is slightly better value for money. This might be slightly more potent in terms of the protection that it leaves behind, although there's not a lot in it. So I talked about these on the best detail spray video. And Sonac's Extreme Brilliant Shine Detailer, okay, whatever's in this stuff, okay, it leaves a slightly sticky finish on your paintwork. It's slightly sticky to use. You can use this as a spray sealant and it will last longer than any of this stuff. It will last longer than most of the paste waxes and products that are up here. Really potently hydrophobic, and very good value for money. You can pick this up for next to nothing when Euro car parts do their flash sale and you get loads off. You can pick these up for like £5 each, so you should get a load of those. But there are downsides to it as well as its strength. So that's the Sonac's BSD. And down here we have the two rotary polishers that I use. The DeWalt 849X smooth beast of a rotary, lasts you forever. Only downside is it's heavy, okay. And then the little Flex P8-4 for getting into kind of intricate areas. So they're my combo of rotaries that I use. I would have had the Flex PE14-2 really instead of this, but price dictated me buying this. If I could have my time again, I'd have gone with the 14-2, but there you go. And finally down the bottom we have my lovely two Duca wash buckets. In there I've got my little bucket saddle thing, which is this like soft plastic thing with holes in the bottom that you can just sling over the side of the bucket and put your brushes in there. Really handy. And all the grit guards and the grit guard washboard, which I also find very handy now. At the end of where all the products are, I have two stools which come in handy for various things. Those EZ brushes that I got, easy brushes, sorry, that I got to figure out where to go, and my dartboard, which is the most important thing. I'll just sling a couple of darts in the board. Must have for any garage, this. Oh, not bad, not bad. Okay, I'm no good, but they usually go anywhere, the old Scud missiles. Right, that's the dartboard. Okay, next up, my drawers of kind of microfiber and accessories and all that sort of stuff that people seem to want me to go through, which is good. So what I'll do is I'll put the camera here. In fact, I'll put the camera even closer, and we shall go through the drawers one at a time, starting top left, going through to bottom right. So here we go. Let's just make sure we've got a decent focus. I'll pull one out. So first up, can you see that? Yes, you can. Good. And is the focus good? It's always half the battle, isn't it? There we go. I think we're in focus. So this is these are the cheap Chinese polishing pads, the 2-inch spot pads, cones, those horrible hex pads that I talked about, and this nice cutting pad, the creme de la creme, and some waffle kind of finishing pads down there at the bottom. So that I don't tend to use these Chinese ones as much. And here are most of my other pads. That one needs a bit of a clean. So Hex Logic pads, Lake County hybrid power pads. I think I've got mainly Hex Logic pads because they just seem to work for me, and if you don't overwork them, they hold up nicely. Some Rupes cone ones. That one's in an awful state, that is. I might as well throw that away. Some other cone pads there from Inter Detailing. There's some wall pads in here. No microfiber pads. I don't find those much use, to be honest, but we'll talk about those at another time. So that's the polishing pads, a little toothbrush in there to help keep them clean. This is my glass cabinet. My waffle's gone bloody pink because I put it in with something red, but never mind. Schoolboy error. So you have this Halfords thing is actually really handy with the little pads. Use that to do the insides where it's easier to reach. A normal microfiber cloth that works really well on glass. And then over here, the Ragmaster premium cloths that I use because they're abrasive. Well, not abrasive like sandpaper, but they're relatively coarse, so they're good for shifting all the bits of stuck on dirt that you can get, you know, all the fly splatter and all that. And then I go over with these waffles, in particular the premium waffles that are down here, because they don't leave anything behind on the paint, and they've got enough absorbency just to get that sort of dissolved grease that you've worked around with these cloths off first. So that's how I do my glass. Right, next up, these are all drying towels. So in these two drawers, I tend to keep all the drying towels that I use, and then in most of these are the ones that were featured in the video. So I have, right now, I'm using this Master of Fibres fair old amount, which is like a fluffy dense one, and then I'm using these, that's the Clean Your Ride, what the hell is it called? I call them warp knit because they've got the twisted spirals in them that you can use very quickly. Rob Inglis very kindly sent me the Duca one the other day, so I've been using this as well, made by Clean Korea, very nice quality. I think the Clean Your Ride one is the same. They're all good quality, these ones, unless you get a knockoff Chinese one, which I've got down there. But if you're buying a warp knit drying towel, get a Korean one. So there's my knockoff Chinese one. Still works well, okay, but it's just not as good quality, and you're always looking to get better quality, but it's double-sided, which is good. And this is the Interdetailing drinker towel, which I use just like the Master of Fibres, still nice and soft. So that I tend to do most of my car drying with these two boxes. Right, we're running out of space here. Down here, I keep these, I think these are Maguire's waffles. I've had these for donkey's years. Just general, I don't tend to use these to dry the cars because they run out of horsepower too quickly for me, leave too much film. If I'm going to use a waffle, I will use the Ragmaster Pluffle drying towel because it's got a little bit more capacity and it's softer. That's the Ragmaster waffle, premium waffle, which is a better quality than those Maguire's ones, but again, I just don't like waffles for drying your entire car. This is a normal towel that I'll use to cover windows, a huge towel, and there I've got the Prestige Car Care Big Yellow, which is a diamond format, one that works very well wet, so you can kind of just wring it out and keep going with it. Oh God. Come on, these boxes are bustling. And here we have all the towels that I featured in the best drying towel video. I should put them in a glass cabinet somewhere, but that's getting a bit too silly. So you've got the Silverback, the one that won. Still, a great drying towel, this dense, soft, and look at it. I've used this a fair few times, this one. It's still got that lovely new fluffiness to it. The Avalanche, the Auto Finesse one, which is very good. Geon Silk Dryer. I think that's the Uber drying towel there, the Purple Monster, which is actually quite good very good for a single core drying towel. So they're all good. You've seen all of those. You can watch the best drying towel video if you want to see all those in action. That video went on for a little bit too long. Oh, come on. The last drying towel. We have the Microfiber Madness, what's it called? Dry Me Crazy or something like that. We have the Auto Bright Reaper. We have the Dodo Juice drying towel, orange or yellow drying towel. We have the Fireball Jet drying towel. No, not Jet, I can't remember. Black Fox, I think it might be called. We have the Car Pro one, which is just a little bit small. They do a much bigger one now. And we have the Chemical Guys Big Woolly Mammoth, which I really like. So these are all in pretty good condition, these towels, so I can look back if ever I want to kind of test them again or do another best one, although I don't see myself doing that in the near future. But I don't know, it's a lot of space to take up having all these towels, so one day I might well auction them all off. Who knows? Right, that's row one done. Okay, very quickly, the middle section of drawers. So starting from the top. Applicators, so wax pack applicators, Woe applicators, ZFE store sponges, which are great value for money. The grip handle ones, which are very good. Got loads of these still. I swooped in when I saw these being sold cheap and got a whole load of them. So those are the applicators. In here, just some excess, the real cheap bargain basement applicators, but all my other good quality microfiber applicators. So these Paragon applicators, which are 95p each, big beefy old things, fantastic. Really cheap, ranging through from the cheap Amazon applicators that are going to get trashed through to the very high quality Ragmaster soft fluffy applicators, which are amazing. So these are the rest of my applicators really. There's a ceramic kind of applicator there, the Fireball one that came I think with the when we did the wax test. So there we go. Oh, the ceramic coating G-Technic cotton applicators, I think they are. Oh, not forgetting the microfiber madness. And what is my focus? Am I in focus here? Let's try and get this sorted out. There we go. Not forgetting the microfiber madness dropnetics that you can put under the wing mirrors, mate, primarily to catch all the dripping water. I forget to use those sometimes. I need to put them in a better place so I remember, because they are really handy, and I do get those little dripping water stains after I've washed the car coming out of the wing mirrors. This one is my odds and sods drawer. So I've got all my relegated Eagle Edgeless in here that are still usable actually. Some of them are half decent, but they're old now and they're getting a little bit kind of less soft and fluffy. Some low quality microfiber here that came from God knows where, Poundland or something. I just saw them for like 50p. The built Hamber terry cloths, which are very good quality. Got pearl weave cloths in here, all sorts of odds and sods that are still useful. I didn't want to get rid of them. So that's that drawer. That's my odds and sods drawer. And in this one, I keep backing plates. So backing plates for the flex, backing plates for the rotary, that's for the wall bonnet. Handles, abrasive kind of pads that are quite handy for scrubbing things out, various functions. Just odds and sods in here really. These pads are quite handy for bug removal. I'm not too keen on putting that nylon strands on my paint, but higher abrasive cloths, stuff like that. Things similar to like the Magic Eraser, if you like. And down here we are getting into the territory of wash mitts and wash pads. So in this first drawer I keep my wool and synthetic wool pads. So I've got the Duca wash pad here, proper wool one. I think that's I can't remember if that's the original one or the Osher one. No, that's the original Duca. That's the Adams wash pad, which is very good, synthetic wool. That's the new latest version of the Duca called the Osher, very similar. The Duca, original Duca wheel pad that I've never used, so it's like my little pet. I don't want to use this. I'm only playing around, but Rob sent me that for free, so I wanted to keep it in nice condition if ever I was featuring kind of Duca stuff and you got that in the back looking brand spankers, but it's too good not to use. Tons of these cheap Chinese synthetic wool ones which last forever as well. Okay, I've got packs of these, cheap as chips, you know, like £1.50 each or something like that. So definitely worth having those. I'll put a link for the description. I'll pick some of the sort of highlights reels out of some of this and throw some links in the description of where you can get it. This is the Car Pro one as well. Shaggy, soft wool, very nice on paintwork. Can get debris tangled into that wool a little bit, and that debris is much harder to remove. That's the only downside, but this feels so nice on your paintwork, this one. I'm a fan of that. That was one of the first videos I did, the best wash mitt one, and I like that Car Pro mitt. So that's the wool and synthetic. In here we have the kind of microfiber ones. So we've got the Cyclone mitt that I've just featured. We've got the Microfiber Madness Incredi pad and Incredi mitt. I've been using those for a long time and they hold up very, very well. All this format is fast becoming my favourite from how usable it is. The Incredi sponge, which you can use just like the Incredi pad really, it's just thicker. The G-Technic kind of microfiber mitt, if you like. Some more of these synthetic ones, and the Sonax one, which is okay. This works good on wheels. I just think there's better things for using on your panels, i.e. these are much better on your panels. Right, so that's all the microfiber ones. Down here we have all of the noodle type products really. These are like abrasive pads, again good for removing kind of bugs off of the surface. These were like about 10p in the Chinese store somewhere. They're actually quite decent quality. Again, more noodle pads. This is all noodles, the Kent wash mitt, which is good. I used to use these, probably going back about 10 years ago maybe. These were like the mitts and pads I used. I just find the other format of microfiber and wool is a little bit safer on paintwork. A little bit. These are still perfectly safe and some people will use these. Again, they hold up very well and last a long time. So we've got the Rag Company one there, which is a slightly better quality, slightly softer microfiber for me than this Kent one, but there's not much in it. You know, they're all cheap as chips and they're good mediums if you're on a budget. Oh, and finally the bottom drawer sponges. So I've got the BRS there. I've dried this out now and I'll put it in soak again when I'm going to be using it more. We have a very cheap, so that's the Optimum BRS big red sponge, so I use that when I'm using the Optimum no rinse product generally nowadays. It works just as well with the sponge that it does with microfiber. Cheap sponges from eBay, you know, 50p each or whatever, handy to have. I don't know why I've got these are just, I'm never going to use them. They're just cheap Chinese microfiber, low terry cloth almost style microfiber. The Maguire's one, which I'm not too keen on as well, just doesn't have a deep enough nap on it for me. So these are just some odds and sods sponge with the abrasive side and the nice soft side. Another sponge. This was a freebie from Clean Your Car, so that was nice. So yeah, just some sponges. Put those back away. Okay, the final column. So my premium kind of buffing cloths, Eagle Edgeless, a drawer full of them basically, and the Eagle pad there. These I keep in good condition. These are soft, okay? So I'll use these on products that I want to remove from the panel. More polishes, pretty much polishes I will use when the polishes come off the car easily and I want lots of absorbency and I want a product that's very safe on the panels that I'm buffing. Eagle Edgeless. Next, a drawer full of Car Pro pearls. Got some dust in there, I don't like that. So yeah, a drawer full of Car Pro, not pearl, Car Pro boa lights. Very much like the Eagle Edgeless, slightly thinner, but twice or more than twice the size. Huge, great towels. Cheaper than the Eagle Edgeless now, and still very good quality. So I had to go and get these because they're just so damn good. So a drawer full of Car Pro boa lights. Most of them are new. In fact, 3 of them have been used quite heavily, but most of them have only ever been used once, I think. So there we go. In here, third one down, we have a drawer full of Rag Company or Rag Master creatures that I'll use for waterless washing, or use for door jams. These can go near paint and they're soft and absorbent, but I'm less worried about when I get these dirty, because I don't use them as kind of buffing cloths for polish removal as much. I use them for waterless washing or wiping panels that need to be cleaned, you know, in areas, you know, door jams, you know, water runoffs under the bonnet and all that sort of stuff. So, and here we have my what are they called? These are the premium microfiber from Paragon. So very good value for money, these terry cloths again, and these went in with a red cloth, and they've gone like a bit orangey now, but they're still lovely and soft. Just a good quality terry cloth. Get in there. Right, next down here, I won't get all this out. These are dirty, okay? They get used for heavy cleaning, degreasing type jobs. So you can see a little stain on that. Not worried about that because they don't go near my paintwork. These are the Costco microfibers. Very good value for money. Nice and plush on one side and very popular. And I like them, but like I say, I'm probably going to phase them out in favour of these because they're virtually the same price and these are much better quality. Down here, this is a treasure trove of microfiber. These are all the samples. I've got the entire Ragmaster range in here. This is just full of lovely microfiber, all this stuff. And I will get round to reviewing some of it individually. Too much stuff to mention in there. Some other products as well. I've got a Carchem one. I've got a Jet. What else have I got in here? Jet Terry Bear towel, big fluffy towel. Craig put that in with the order of the boa lights I've got, which is like another format of this utility cloth, but slightly shorter nap. Very soft cloth though. Really like this. I nearly bought a whole ton of these, but the problem is when you've already got so much microfiber, you've got to really consolidate it. So, but very good cloth. So that is my samples drawer, if you like. Wizard there, purple nality. Let's put this away. Oh, get in there. These are busting to the top, man. Oh no. Oh, I've got to put it away properly. Hold on. It's got to be folded. There we go. Okay. Finally, these are all the cloths in the bottom 2 drawers from the best buffing cloth video. So a whole range of amazing cloths in here that I used for the best buffing cloth video. A couple of overflow samples that I couldn't fit in this one. And then these, all the ones that I wasn't so keen on in that buffing cloth video, but all decent enough cloths. So I tend to keep these all nice and mint in case I ever need to go back to them. Okay, that is all the drawers. Okay, finally brushes. So I have the EZ range now, which is very nice, and I've just reviewed, and I'm using those all the time because they're good. I have the Vicam wheel face brush, very nice. Some of these sponges I use as tyre applicators. Once they start getting dirty, you are screwed, but they can still be used. We have the Incredi brush in there. We have the wheel woolies, which I can't really use, as I've spoken about. They just don't fit for me. We have a scrubbing brush that I sometimes use on tyres. We have the Megatron, which I sometimes use on wheels because it's nice and soft and tapered and huge. We have the wheel woolly. We have some brushes for the sort of engine bay, brushes for interior if I'm going really paranoid or not scratching interior plastics, just dusting them out. Valet Pro chemical resistant brush, toothbrushes, ton of hog's hair brushes, some rust removal brushes. That thing's going in the bin. It's a wheel arch brush, but it's just, well, actually I'll probably keep it. It's just not as good as the EZ one. General scrubbing brushes, paint brushes, oh, I have 4 in there. The whole kit and caboodle in here. All sorts of little brushes I've collected over the years. So that's my brushes. Let's put those back. Put those away. Need to probably find a better way of storing these now. I'm running out of space in this garage. Okay, flying very quickly through all the cupboards. So in here I keep my wheel buckets. What else have I got in here? Tennis gear down the bottom here. I like to have a little knock around the old tennis every now and then. Nearly kills me. So this is all tennis and stuff for my mountain bike as well, really. Some boxes that I'll probably throw away. In here I keep a lot of my tools. So we've got belt sanders, we've got routers, or routers, whatever you call them, chisel out the wood. We've got jump packs, we've got axle stands, we've got dent pullers, we've got core cutters, we've got bits for the departure, jump leads, axle stands, etc. This is where I keep all my waxes in here. So all the gear for making waxes, and up there, all the ingredients, that is just rammed. Everywhere's rammed, okay? Let's move this across. Over we go. And then in here, DIY stuff, saws, paintbrushes, stuff like that, tools, socket sets, drill bits, all the boring stuff. In here, random things, CDs, batteries, microscope, diagnostic stuff, tapes in here. I keep all my kind of tapes, adhesives and all that sort of stuff. Let's move over to here. Okay, the last few cupboards, see if I can get this zoomed out a bit more. Okay, and finally in here I've got my wet vac, an old Henry backup hoover, extension leads, nothing too clever. In here I keep all my fillers, spray cans, rattle cans, some solvents, some glues, a whole load of stuff there if I'm doing anything on the panels. Paints basically. The missus has infiltrated this cupboard. We've got household utensils in here, which was a big no-no, but it was either let her have them in there or it'd be World War III forever. So she won. So we've got cake tins and all that crap, screws and stuff like that, Dremel attachments for my small Dremel drill. This cupboard, the missus has infiltrated it. Picnic blankets, potpourri, women's crap. What I do is I let her put it in there, and then when she's not around I throw bits of it away in the bin. She never realises. That's just to avoid hassle. So that's all junk. What the hell's in here? Jesus Christ. I'll keep some bits up there. Okay, so this side of the garage, all my tools, screwdrivers, pliers. I've got sets of pliers for all different things. Scissors, knives, lights, windscreen removal tools, hacksaw, blades, sockets, non-marring tools which are handy, derusting tools, stuff like the caramel wheel. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. So we use that. More sockets and special tools for wheels, spanners, ratchets, files, drill bits, G-clamps, compression springs, torque wrenches, other stuff. That's all my tools. Over here we've got the forensics leather chair that we're going to be refinishing in a video soon for Ram. A load of household stuff here, clean oils and paints and various things, WD-40s. I've got to have a good clear out of all this. Up the top you can see my Titan Hoover and a pump sprayer for the Valet Pro wheel cleaner. So I tend to use it for. Over here, are we in focus? Yes we are. You've got my K4 Eco pressure washer, if I get it in focus. You've got this thing, which is a very important thing to have. I think they're about 25-30 quid for this trolley and this stool as well. I'll put links from the description. Very important bit of kit you can have when you're detailing. Over here I keep 25 litres of degreaser concentrate and my 3-ton trolley jack, which is very handy, and my bike, which I used yesterday. My legs are killing me. Voodoo Hoodoo bike that I'm probably going to flog because I've used it about 3 bloody times. So that you might well see that on eBay one day soon, but a very good mountain bike. Okay, that is most of the stuff. So thanks for watching, guys. This was the obligatory kind of garage walkthrough video, if you like. Like I say, this garage is long overdue now. The floor's starting to peel up, the TV doesn't work. The Alfa Romeo parking only sign keeps falling off whenever I park the BMW in here. It's like an omen. Everything's starting to look a bit shabby now, and I want to kind of rip it all out, put proper resin flooring in, maybe proper workshops or purpose-built sliding cabinets if I can build those myself. Well, I'm not too sure about that. I want to do it all properly, boarding up on the walls, plaster, better lighting, and create perhaps a nicer environment to do all this kind of these detailing videos in. So it's something I'm thinking about now, and it's something I'll probably be reaching out for advice on in the not too distant future. So thank you very much for watching, guys. This has been a tour of the Forensics Detailing channel garage. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon on the channel. Bye for now.